Well, good evening to one and all. Welcome to day 2 of the faculty development program, where we are talking about basics of research methodology, which will enable you enhance your analytical power, enhance your perspective towards research methodology. In the first lecture, we discuss about which area should we do our research in. The area should not be a hot topic area. The area should be where you are comfortable with, your domain, your specialization. And there you should find out what is the hot cake, what is the hot topic that you can really do your research into. Not necessary, it has to be a very current affair on which you have to do a research upon. Well, for that, what topic should you select, which area you should select, all that we discussed in the previous lecture. We also got you introduced to the heroines of the research work, and these actors are nothing else but their variables. The entire storyline, the entire thesis, your research work, your research report, we'll talk about the variables that you have selected to work with, to present, and to study with. So we discussed what are variables. Besides, there are different around 5-6 types of variables. I've not discussed all. Giving you a brief idea in order to structure your topic. Basically, you need to know about independent and dependent variables. So that's what we had a discussion in the previous lecture. How do we identify variables which are independent, dependent, or constant? And how do we really put them into our topic? This is what we had left doing in the last session. To pick up from the last session, we continue with from where do we extract these variables? You all know we get our actors from the script, and the script in research is nothing else but your review of literature. This session, well, I'm going to give you a lot of insights on how to do review of literature, what basically we do review of literature on. And if time permits, I will be showing you certain open source tools which a researcher can use in order to get their work done easy. There was a time, I'm sure Kanchan ma'am will agree, that there was no facility like going on internet, Google search engine, where so easily papers could be easily been got. Previous year's papers, past research papers, with the click of a button that you could get it. Previously, the researchers used to visit various libraries. They used to visit various research centers, universities, to go through various journals, go through various theses, find out if any previous work was done in their domain, and find out the gap. And that's how then they used to identify their objectives. There was nothing as download the paper, copy what you want to, and then continue with your work. We all had to write. A lot of writing work was done. So when I was doing my PhD, even I really wondered what people basically sit in the library and keep writing. What people basically do when the guide says, go and do review of go and do review of literature. So friends, before I proceed, I really want to know in this session, what you all want from me. What exactly are you awaiting to know about from this session? Yeah, we can always have the chat box working.
Yeah, ma'am, good evening. Would like to know that how to start with it. That is to get the actual source of review of literature.
Okay.
That is, because as of now we have started, but it is like getting actual data is very challenging.
Correct. Correct. Good. Yes, Madam Brinda, anything to say? Madam Brinda, anything to say? You have unmuted yourself.
No, ma'am, she's my daughter. I just
She's
told
your
her.
daughter. All right.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
told her just she should also attend it.
How sweet. Okay. Okay. All right. So, I hope I'm audible. Yes. To give a start with, basically, we are going to talk about what do we do in review of literature. If the guide is saying do at least 50 papers of review, so I try and download some papers from Google search engine, from ResearchGate, from Google Scholars. These are all open source gates from where I can get related research papers to my topic. I download those papers and keep. Now, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do? Why am I supposed to do review of literature? So, question was always tangling in front of my mind, that should I be doing review of literature before I decide my topic, or should I be doing review of literature after I decide my topic? That was a big question mark I had. And however, I don't know how stupid was I at that time. I did ask this to various experts. So should I be doing review before I start thinking of my topic, or should I be doing review after I get the topic and nail it by searching only that area related, whether any research work is done? So very good learning was given to me. Yes, anybody? Before. Okay, Prapti is saying you should be doing before. Well, Prapti, I don't say you that you are wrong, but I don't say you're completely right also. Because review of literature is done before and after, both. Once before you decide your topic, you need to know what are the various areas in which the research has been done. If you all are faculties from finance, you would really want to know what is the current topics on which research has been doing. There was a time what current topics पे Bitcoin पे चलता था research. उसके बाद क्रिप्टो करेंसी पे भी चला है research. उसके बाद investment decisions, especially at the time of retirement planning. So a lot of research has been done to that. When you start reading through papers, you start getting ideas. अरे research इसमें भी हुआ है. अरे वाह research इसमें भी हुआ है. Still deciding. Yes, we'll come back to you, Prapti. So when you start reading, going through various papers, you start realizing marketing में ये सब areas में बहुत research हुआ है. That helps you to start generating of idea in your mind what research you can do on. You won't believe, I recent past, when I was just browsing through net and I came across a lot of meme ads. I'm sure you all are aware about it. जहाँ पे a lot of characters are used in order to promote a product in a very hilarious way. Social media pe it's gone very viral and very popular, the meme ads. So it just struck my mind, is there any research which is done on meme ads? Does these kind of ads which companies are making really influence the buying decision of consumers? And you won't believe, a research was made by me browsing through what were the previous research done, what were the gaps, and the research was conducted by, which was well appreciated, which was published in the Scoopers Journal. So ये मुझे idea कहाँ से आई? ये idea आई when I was browsing through papers. It gave me some idea is in what areas research has been done. Similarly, before you start thinking on what should be your topic for your research, you should decide your domain. Because there are times people get confused. Should I do it in general management? Should I do it in marketing management? Should I do it in HR? Should I do it in finance? Finance wala are very clear. भाई हमारा तो number game है, so we want to do in accounting and finance, either of. But people who are into theory, they always have a state of confusion. That should I go into education, or should I go into marketing, general management, HR? You have to decide, but ultimately you have to know that you are supposed to defend your work. So selecting an area was very easy, but selecting the topic in that area is the biggest challenge. 2 months, 3 months आराम से लग जाते हैं एक टॉपिक को सिलेक्ट करने में, उसको स्ट्रक्चर करने में. And a fine-tuned proposal will definitely take a span of 3 months time. Definitely 3 months. which is appropriately made, following the research design. Yeah. Proposals can also be made overnight. Nobody can challenge us, especially we Mumbaiites, when we talk about research. भाई प्रपोजल क्या, हम तो पूरा का पूरा पेपर बना लेते हैं ओवरनाइट. 2 दिन में कॉन्फ्रेंस है, हमें पेपर देना ही है. इट इज मेड कंपल्सरी टू अस. I don't know how, but overnight the paper is made and it is submitted and it gets published also. So nobody can challenge us, at least we Mumbaikars, how we do research. There is always a question in my mind, friends, when it is asked, ये abstract जो, if you follow the pattern, the research methodology or research paper pattern, first starts with abstract. And to my amaze, this abstract is submitted by people right in the beginning. The abstract is submitted by the people right in the beginning, before the paper is made. I am amazed to know that. Because abstract likhna hai only 300 to 500 words. But the crux of the matter is, what are you writing in the abstract before conducting the research? The abstract gives a summary, a gist of your entire research. Then how is that we are able to write down the abstract before the research is conducted? ये एक बड़ी सोचने वाली बात है. In a lot of conferences, I have been a reviewer. So that time I can really understand कि abstract research से पहले लिखा है क्या, abstract research के बाद लिखा है. Abstract is always made after the entire research is done. But boss, you're giving a bird view to the reviewer about your entire paper in the abstract. You're giving a gist. And in that gist, your 2 lines, usually abstract is for 300 words to 500 words. But if you go to IIM, they say that your abstract, okay, it is known as extended abstract, should be at least for 5,000 words. 5,000 words. तो वहां की बात ही कुछ और है. When we talk about IIM, extended abstract बोलते हैं उसको, abstract नहीं बोलते. It means I have to explain the full gist of the paper in maximum 5,000 words. Or sometimes some IIM says maximum 3,000 words. उसमें जो पूरा अपना research paper होता है 3,000 words. So in abstract, first 2 lines we write down about the industry in which we are doing the research, giving them the current affairs of that industry or that product or that service or the problem which is there in that industry. Then we say that we never write down the word as since no research has been done. That is impossible. भाई आप पहले इंसान नहीं हो जो रिसर्च कर रहे हो वो टॉपिक पे. There has to be that somebody has done research. So you need to use the correct word. As not enough research is been done in this area. As not enough research is been done in this area. So hence the topic so and so has been decided for research, and then you write down in the current study the data was collected using standardized questionnaire or structured questionnaire where the sample size was 500. The findings of the study said this. ये छोटा सा summary आप लिखते हो आपके abstract में, where you write down the findings also of your study. Finding comes only when you have done your research work. So please withdraw yourself from the act or the activity that you're doing your abstract before conducting your research. ये नहीं होता, ये गलत चीज हो रही. Your work should start only, or your abstract should be made only after you have done your research. Okay. Chaliye. We're now going to talk about from where do we get these variables? So we all know we get these variables from review of literature. So in today's session, what I'm going to teach you all is, when we have downloaded our topic related research papers, how are we supposed to maintain review of literature? What are we supposed to read in that paper? What are we supposed to extract from that paper? And how are we supposed to build up a model related to our study? So we need to know what is a model also. So answer to all these questions is going to be through review of literature. All right, friends. Well, I will not teach you all about the theoretical part about review of literature, but I shall definitely teach you basically review of literature can be done through primary and secondary sources. Probably you can have review of literature. Usually it is done through books, references. You may have journals. You may also have review of literature going through previous thesis, newspaper articles. And that's how you get some kind of an information from. Now, what basically are the 2 points that we find out in review of literature? हम review of literature में 2 चीजें देखते, एक variables क्या है और दूसरा वो variables को measure कैसे किया है. In review of literature, I try and find out variables. For example, let's pick up one variable, which is job satisfaction. I'm picking up a title which says a study on impact of job satisfaction on employee performance. I repeat, I am talking with impact of job satisfaction on employee performance. So there are 2 variables here, job satisfaction and employee performance. Because job satisfaction for me will be separately defined. From your angle, it will be separately defined. For other persons, job satisfaction may be separately defined. And employee performance keeps varying because these factors are not constant and keeps varying. I'm interested to know about this. Now, next question which any panel member will ask you, how are you going to measure job satisfaction? When I ask Prapti, are you satisfied with your job? And if she says a yes, on what basis she's saying a yes? If she's saying a no, on what basis she's saying no? If she's saying I'm very satisfied, on what basis she's saying I'm very satisfied with my job? I need to have some measurement tools. So we are going to identify what are these measurement tools. Moreover, in every research paper, there will always be some kind of relationship shown. Now I'll make you understand what do you mean by relationship. Let's talk about a simple example. मान लो भाई शादी तो सबकी होने वाली है, किसी की हो गई है, किसी की होने वाली है. Now, when you are going in that phase of getting married, looking out for your partner, you are already been structured in your mind what kind of partner you want. आपने दिमाग में कुछ तो framework बना के रखा है. Basically, what kind of a partner you're looking out for. तो ऐसा तो नहीं है पहली बार लड़की को देखा, लड़के को देखा और उधर ही हाँ खत्म बात, रफा दफा. At least this generation don't do it. Previous generation में ऐसा हो जाता था. Now what you say? I want to look out for some options. I want to really look into that person more. एक बार में हाँ नहीं करेंगे. I want to know about that person more. Then you try to find out, meet that person, be with that person for some time. Try to find out the compatibility of you along with that person. And then you decide that you want to get along or not. भाई अगर आपका even इफ इट इज नॉट लव मैरिज, इफ इट इज अरेंज मैरिज में भी 2-3 बार मीटिंग तो होगी ना, और वो मीटिंग में गर्ल एंड बॉय विल रियली टॉक टू नो ईच अदर. Similarly, in research, how far you are comfortable with your variables, वो एक रिव्यू ऑफ पेपर से पता नहीं चल जाएगा. आपको बहुत सारे रिव्यू ऑफ पेपर्स डाउनलोड करके पढ़ने पड़ेंगे. And in every review of literature, when you do, in every paper, you will find out some new element. अब जितनी बार वो लड़के या लड़की से बात करेंगे, you will come to know something new. And finally, then you take your decision whether I should go ahead with this person or no. Yes or no. Similarly, रिसर्च में रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर होने के बाद आप डिसाइड करोगे मैं कौन से वेरिएबल के साथ आगे जाऊं. इतने सारे वेरिएबल्स बोले. अब जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन, हाउ विल यू मेजर इट? So probably it can be measured on pay package. It can be measured on what is your position given. Job satisfaction can be done on the job autonomy you have. Job satisfaction can be done into, there are different parameters that I'll be showing you. इतने सारे parameters के साथ आप थोड़ी deal करेंगे. You may deal with selective ones. So in review of literature, you're going to find out the variables which you're comfortable to work with, pick up those variables and find out how are these variables being measured. Review of literature में दो ही चीज पढ़ते हैं. ये measurement कैसे होता है और क्या variables के बीच में कोई relationship है? Is there any relationship between the variables? Friends, घर पे कोई मेहमान आता है. I repeat, घर पे कोई मेहमान आता है. You introduce the guest to your family members. So how do you introduce your guest to your family members? How do you introduce your guest to your family members? What do you say? You will not say this is family number 1, family member number 2, family member 3, family member number 4. Certainly not. No? Your introduction goes, ये मेरे चाचू है, ये मेरे चाचा है, ये मेरे पापा है, ये मेरे मम्मी है. You're showing your relationship, and that's what the guest is also equally interested to know, what relation you have with each of your family members. Exactly, this is what happens in research. People are interested to know what relationship is there between the variables. ये रिलेशनशिप को इन रिसर्च में बोलते हैं हाइपोथेसिस. हमें अपने वेरिएबल्स, हमें अपने मेजरमेंट ऑफ वेरिएबल्स, हमें अपने रिलेशनशिप विद द वेरिएबल्स, ये तीनों फैक्टर मिलते हैं रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर्स. And this relationship is called as hypothesis, which talks between a relationship between two variables. जब ये सभी relationship that the variables are having, मान लो हम 4 variables पढ़ रहे हैं और चारों variables में कुछ relationship find out किया है. अब relationship क्या हो सकता है? मे बी डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप. एक चीज बढ़ती है तो दूसरी भी बढ़ेगी, एक चीज कम होती है तो दूसरी भी होगी. दैट्स कॉल्ड डायरेक्ट रिलेशन. इनवर्स रिलेशन, एक चीज बढ़ती है तो दूसरी कम होती है. यू ऑल हैव स्टडीड लॉ ऑफ डिमांड एंड लॉ ऑफ सप्लाई, व्हिच टेल्स यू द रिलेशनशिप. वैसे ही यहाँ पे पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप होता है, नेगेटिव रिलेशनशिप होता है. जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन हाई है तो परफॉर्मेंस भी हाई रहेगा. जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन पॉजिटिव है तो परफॉर्मेंस भी पॉजिटिव रहेगा. दैट इज व्हाट थियरी इज सेइंग. So I want to find out these kind of relationships, and people want to study this relationship. Welcome to the concept of review of literature. This is exactly what we do in review of literature. And people say, you remember I told you in lecture 1, I had told you never say that I want to do a research which nobody has done it. Sheikh Chili ka kaam kar rahe hain hum. When you say I want to do research where nobody has done it, तो बॉस तुम्हारे वेरिएबल्स कहां से ढूंढोगे when nobody has done it? I want to do something where hardly any study has been made. Don't say that. Don't do that. Hardly any study has been made. Where did you find your variables? किसी ने कुछ ज्यादा स्टडी किया ही नहीं है, तो आपके लिए तो ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज हो गया कि हाउ विल यू फाइंड योर वेरिएबल्स ऑफ योर स्टडी, कि जो आप पढ़ना चाहते हो. So never enter into that zone where you say, I want to do research in a very unique area where nobody has done it or very few have done it. Get into research where many have done it, but you contribute by adding one more new variable to it. For example, lot of study has been made on what is the reason for stress among college going students. What's the reason of stress amongst college going students? So a lot of review papers said stress is due to examination, stress is due to financial matters, stress is due to what do you say, peer pressure, stress is due to a teenage relationship. Well, how about if I come out with a concept after doing my research, apart from all these independent variables which are reasons for stress, I also found out that collegians get stressed because they don't have a companion of opposite sex. For example, I do not have a girlfriend. Stress. Yes, that could be a reason. Ye to chodo, there was something which more I found out through my research. That I forget that I do not have a girlfriend. I have a half girlfriend. पता ही नहीं चल रहा है वो girlfriend है कि friend है. That also could be a stress. So I am contributing something new to the existing study. That is much more relevant rather than finding out a topic which nobody has studied. So never throw a challenge to yourself by saying that कुछ नया हट के करना है, तो आप ही हट जाएंगे रिसर्च से. All right, everyone. So that's one point that is kept in our mind. Do research where a lot of work is done, but contribute an additional variable into it, which will be appreciated by people. Another dimension you have got into the research. I give you an example. Don't consider it to be irrelevant. This can be a reason as to why college students have stress. Now I'm going to show you बेसिकली इन रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर पहले जान लेते हैं कि ये करने से क्या फायदा मिलता है. 3-4 चीजें तो हमने आपको 3-4 बार सिखा दी कि रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर करने से वेरिएबल्स मिलते हैं, रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर करने से वेरिएबल्स के रिलेशनशिप मिलते हैं. रिसर्च में रिलेशनशिप को बोलते हैं हाइपोथेसिस. वो हाइपोथेसिस को हम पिकअप करते हैं और वही हाइपोथेसिस को हम अपने स्टडी में टेस्ट करते हैं. I want to test the validity of this hypothesis. Hypothesis is an imaginary statement, we say. वो हमारे दिमाग से नहीं आती है. It's not our intuition. Hypothesis आते हैं from review of literature. When I build up an hypothesis stating female loves pink color. Now, how do I know female love pink color? How do I know that male love blue color? So keep in mind, this is not my intuitions. I've picked up the statement from some past research, which I'm testing it in my research. I'm testing the validity. So textbook में तो बहुत बोला है, hypothesis is an imaginary statement. Hypothesis is an assumption made. But nobody says hypothesis is basically a relationship between variables. Such an easy thing, such an easy thing. ऐसा कोई हमें समझाए तो समझ में आता है कि रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी में रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर करते हैं तो हमें रिलेशनशिप फाइंड आउट करना है हाइपोथेसिस में. आई विल बी शोइंग यू लाइव डेमोन्स्ट्रेशंस आल्सो ऑन दिस. अब पता चला कि पेपर में देखना क्या है जब गाइड बोलते हैं गो एंड डू योर रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर. अब मुझे जानना है कि मैम आपने टॉपिक दिया था ना, व्हाट इज द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन ऑन एम्प्लॉय परफॉर्मेंस. So I want to know, is there any relation between job satisfaction and employee performance? अगर है तो कौन सा relation है? Negative है, positive है, direct है, indirect है, and there is significant relation or there is no relation? Let me find this out. You will find it out through review of literature. One more reason I'll tell you why you're doing review of literature. Always remember, always. I'm taking you till the end. End तक लेके जा रही हूँ. Thesis भी submit हो गई. Today is the day of your open defense. You have to defend your entire 2 to 3 year, 4 year work that you're put in your time, your effort, your energy, your heart, your soul into research. That you're going to present and defend it today in front of the audience. This audience also will be people from industry. There will be people from academicians. There will be research scholars who will be sitting in front of you, and you have to defend your work, present your work, and there will be questions raised by the audience. So there the questions can come. Madam, how can you say job satisfaction has positive relation with performance of the employee? Madam, how can you say that job satisfaction has got positive relation with performance of the employee? That's how you play a smart role. I am not saying this is said by Mr. So-and-so in so-and-so paper. I am testing it in my research. This is how you play safe in while defending your work. Sir, this is not told by me. This relationship is not brought by me. This relationship is been told by X and Y person in so-and-so paper in the year so-and-so. I picked up that particular relationship, tested in my sample and tested the validity of the relationship which is being told. Superb, you defended your work. So remember one more thing, review of literature is also done to protect you and defend your work. मैं नहीं बोल रही हूँ, वो तो वो बंदा बोल रहा है. मैं तो सिर्फ वो बंदे ने बोला वो टेस्ट कर रही हूँ इधर. ज्यादा आपको जानना है, प्लीज कॉन्टैक्ट सो एंड सो, बिब्लियोग्राफी, रेफरेंस, वहां से दे दो उनका नाम. So friends, research has to be done smartly also. This is one more reason why you do review of literature. मैम रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर कब तक करना होता है? रिव्यू लिटरेचर तब तक करना होता है जब तक यू आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड दैट मैं अपने वेरिएबल्स मिल गए, मुझे अपने वेरिएबल्स के साथ जो रिलेशनशिप है वो मिल गया है जो मुझे अपने पेपर में टेस्ट करना है. एंड मैम रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर चैप्टर नंबर whatever your guide says, that could be chapter number 2, chapter number 3. So chapter number 2 or chapter number 3 के बाद it comes to an end? Never. Review of literature, आपको आपका review of literature का हाथ पकड़ के चलना है till chapter number 4, data analysis and interpretation. Why? Because in chapter number 4, when you are interpreting the data which has been analyzed, अगर आपका data is in parallel to what the previous researchers have said, bang on, you're going to write down there that the findings of the study are in parallel with the findings of Mr. So-and-so in the paper so-and-so published in the year so-and-so. Superb work you are doing. You are justifying your work by saying हमारी जो findings है वो उनके findings के साथ match हो रही है भाई. और सुनो, जरूरी नहीं है कि आपकी जो डेटा एनालिसिस हो रही है, मान लो डेटा एनालिसिस के बाद आपकी जो फाइंडिंग्स आए, दैट फाइंडिंग्स मे नॉट बी इन पैरेलल विद व्हाट इज बीन टोल्ड इन प्रीवियस रिसर्च. सो इट मींस योर रिसर्च इज नॉट एक्यूरेटली डन. इट मींस योर रिसर्च इज नॉट राइट. Absolutely not. That's not the case. It is every time not necessary that whatever research you are doing has to match with what previous researchers have said. Your data may speak something else. And if it is speaking something else, very good. You're giving a new path for research. You are telling future researchers that this is a new dimension which is out in my research. Further research can be done on this. A road ahead you have given to the researchers. So never consider that if your data is talking something what is not realistic. For example, हमें भी पता है blue is a color of female, नहीं, blue is a color of male and pink is a color of female. रिसर्च करने के बाद आपको आपका डेटा बोल रहा है कि बॉस ब्लू इज नाउ द कलर ऑफ फीमेल. डर नहीं जाने का कि मेरा डेटा गलत बोल रहा है कि फीमेल का ब्लू कलर हो गया मेरे डेटा में. डोंट वरी, यू आर गिविंग अ न्यू पाथवे टू द न्यू रिसर्च. Now it will be found out why the current generation of 21st century millennials are finding blue also attractive. You're giving a new scope of research. So friends, review of literature आपको data interpretation के टाइम भी काम आएगा. तो आपको आप जब review of literature कर रहे हो, you have to carefully save everything. पहली बात तो folders बनाने के. I am saying it right from scratch. बहुत basic बता रही हूँ, बहुत basic. Drive पे काम करने का उतना safe है because it can be accessible from wherever you're doing. You all are quite acquainted with it. In the COVID situation of 2 years, you all have worked on Drive. Create 5 folders according to your chapter. Your chapter will be decided with you and your guide. उसमें एक chapter होगा research ROL का. ROL में आपने मान लो 50 papers download किए related to your study. Upload that 50 papers on your Drive. सब soft copy आपके पास है. हर एक पेपर में you will find some distinctiveness. For example, in this review of literature paper, superb introduction is given. So write down review of literature 1, rename the paper ROL 1 और उधर लिखो superb introduction. So when you are writing your introduction, you know कि ये ROL का paper में introduction is given superb. Let me go through it. Then you reviewed another paper. You found interpretations are done excellently. Write down ROL 2, interpretation done, excellent. तीसरे पेपर पे गए, you found the conclusions to be amazingly written related to your study, जो आप भी वहां से कुछ ले सकते हो. Write it down. ROL 3, conclusions, fantastic. So when you are personally sitting to write your thesis, you can browse through this work very easily. हर पेपर को खोलने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी वापस से. Because every paper you have saved in your Drive, writing what is fantastic in this paper. One more research paper you opened. आपने आपका hypothesis ये paper से pick up किया था. So write down review of literature 5, hypothesis number 2 picked up from here. You're getting me? So when you are writing, testing your hypothesis, and when you're writing your interpretation, you can easily know कि ये paper number 4 का मेरा second hypothesis इसमें है, which also I've tested in my study. तो पहला आपको ये पता चला कि आपको डाउनलोड करके एक ड्राइव में फोल्डर नंबर विच इज चैप्टर नंबर, ये सभी पेपर्स ऊपर अपलोड करो और ये पेपर्स को एक एक पढ़ते जाइए, उसको रीनेम करते जाइए. Now, when we are doing scope of review based on review of literature, gap has been identified. Now, what do you mean by gap? I repeat, what do you mean by gap? Anybody knows what is gap? Anybody knows what is gap? I've closed the feature. What is mean by gap? Lot of papers you must have read. There is a gap in research. What do you mean by gap? Nobody knows what's a gap? What's gap in research? But I have seen people
Madam, the area where you get the idea to start.
The area from where you get an idea from where to start. Okay, okay. Difference between actual data and your data. That's the gap, Vrinda. Okay. Well, I have read and even I have made this blunder. Okay, friends. Blunder what I had made, I used to write in gap analysis. After doing research, research के end chapter में I used to say gap analysis. और gap में लिखती थी, not much research is been found in this area. Hence, the researcher decided to study so and so topic. एक तो ऐसा gap लिखती थी मैं. दूसरा gap, lot of research has been done in Coimbatore, in Kerala, in Delhi, but not much research is done in Mumbai. Hence, the researcher decided to do this topic. I have made this blunder. I don't know about you. So I have found out the gap geographically. उधर 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 किया है, मुंबई में नहीं किया, इसलिए मैं कर रही हूँ. This is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. This is how we write gap. Absolute no. In gap, we are trying to find out कौन से वेरिएबल स्टडी किए हैं और कौन सा वेरिएबल still can be studied in depth. Lot of studies have shown this are the variables for job satisfaction. However, the relationship between these factors is not being still defined in depth. Hence, the current study is made on impact of job satisfaction on performance appraisal. ऐसा लिखते हैं gap हम, where we try and identify कि variables तो है, लेकिन in depth में ये variables के relationship ज़्यादा study नहीं हुए. Never write down, never studied. No, you are not the first researcher to do that. कहीं ना कहीं research हुआ है, लेकिन you can write down not much of study is been done. However, very few study is been done. Look at my words that I'm using. These words play a very important role. However, not much study has been done. और यहाँ से हम अपना gap लिखते हैं. Based on the gap, we write down our objectives. Objective हो सकता है, I want to study the relationship or the association between job satisfaction and performance. आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव बना आपके गैप के साथ. अब जब ऑब्जेक्टिव बनाते हो, जो हम कल सीखने वाले हैं, ऑब्जेक्टिव कैसे बनाना. जब ऑब्जेक्टिव बनाते हैं, सबसे बड़ी गलती हम करते हैं. वन ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स दैट वी राइट डाउन इज टू गिव रेलेवेंट सजेशंस, कंक्लूजन एंड सजेशन. वो तो हर रिसर्च करने वाला है भाई. आप अपने रिसर्च में सजेशंस तो देने ही वाले हो. Then why do we write down this as our objective? It is obvious that you're going to give suggestion. For example, to study the concept of job satisfaction, वो तो by default पढ़ने वाले हो भाई. तो वो आप objective क्यों बना रहे हो? To study various parameters of job satisfaction. Bingo, this is your objective. कि job satisfaction कैसे measure करोगे? I want to know different parameters and items of job satisfaction. That could be your study. To study the relationship between job satisfaction and performance. Bingo, that could be your objective. So your objective should have variables. And what are you want to study in these variables? Never objectives like to study the concept of, वो तो by default होने वाला है. And friends, finally, based on your objectives that you title, how do you make your objectives? That will help you to define which statistical tool you will apply. All what I'm sharing with you right now, it's all based on my experience and with my guru that I've worked. ये छोटी सी मामूली सी बात किताबें नहीं बताएगी. Books will not say this. Andy Field will never talk on these basic things that I'm trying to tell you all. अब बात ये आती है, मैम हाउ शुड वी डू रिव्यू. आपने बता दिया, फोल्डर बना लो, फोल्डर में से आप पेपर्स अपलोड कर लो और पेपर्स को आप रीनेम करते जाइए एज ROL1, ROL2, ROL3, ROL4, ROL5. लेकिन उसके सामने हर ROL में क्या अच्छा है वो लिखते जाइए. तो आपको पता है इसमें सुपर्ब दे हैव यूज्ड स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल. उसको ही खोलने का, योर वर्क वाज वेरी इजी, वेरी इजी. Now, how should we maintain ROL? How should we maintain ROL? Please note this down. This is a super pattern that I have learned. कि कोई भी एक पेपर उठा रही हूं तो वो पेपर में मुझे देखना क्या है. What am I supposed to study in that paper? I request my audience to please note this down, all the columns, and I take up a live demonstration on one of the papers. Okay, I give you 1 minute span of time. Please note down all these columns, and then I pick up one paper. In that paper, we are trying to study each of this column, that how we are going to write it down. Once you are through, please let me know so I change my screen. This column talks about कि सबसे पहले हम पेपर एक जो भी लेंगे, पहले तो हम author के बारे में बात करने वाले. Who is the author of this particular paper? What's the title of the paper? Area. Area means it will help you identify the need of the study. Lot of study has been made for employee engagement in the field of banking. Very few research has been made in the field of employee engagement in the field of banking service sector. So you may always say into which industry? Or hotel industry. तो कौन सा एरिया में स्टडी हुआ है, that will help you to at least identify the gaps here. Next is result. Result means आप जो भी पेपर पढ़ रहे हैं वो पेपर में नक्की बोलेंगे रिजल्ट क्या है, वेरिएबल्स के बीच में रिजल्ट क्या है, नक्की बोलेंगे. I will help you out to find out the relationship of the variables here. Next is, I'm going to talk about research design. Research design means ये paper में what is their sample size, how they have collected the data, is it to structure questionnaire, what is the sampling technique they have used. Because यहाँ से हमें जरूर कुछ ना कुछ मिलेगा हमारे हाथ में that we can take idea from. Definitely हम cut copy paste नहीं करेंगे, नहीं तो we'll be plagiarized, पूरा blacklist हो जाएंगे. अब मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी में भी थीसिस सबमिट करना है, not more than 10% of plagiarism. You have to attach your plagiarism certificate. So you have to do. Fortunately हमारे टाइम में यूजीसी ने क्लॉज नहीं निकाला था कि आपको आपकी थीसिस you have to have a plagiarism check done. ये तो बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है. पूरा plagiarism check करके सर्टिफिकेट डालना है. The entire thesis should not be more than 10% of plagiarism. So I will be showing you certain softwares on today's session which will help you not to check plagiarism but to reduce plagiarism. That tools are known as academic writing tools. भाई cut copy paste तो सब लोग करने वाले हैं. Let's accept the fact, especially when you're doing review of literature. And what people do review of literature? ऑथर का नाम लिखते हैं, ब्रैकेट खोलते हैं, साल लिखते हैं और पूरा लिख लेते हैं in his paper he has written this, वो पेपर में से कॉपी कर लेते हैं. This is how they do review of literature. Next ऑथर का नाम लिखते हैं, ब्रैकेट में साल लिखते हैं, in his research paper पूरा एब्स्ट्रैक्ट कॉपी कर लेते हैं. वापस से नेक्स्ट ऑथर का नाम लिखते हैं, ब्रैकेट में साल लिखते हैं, in his research paper so and so he's written this. This is not review of literature, friends. वो तो आप अपना प्लेगरिज्म बढ़ाते ही जा रहे हो और रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर का कोई मतलब ही नहीं हो रहा है इसमें. तो दिस इज व्हाट रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर इज डन. प्रेजेंट कैसे करना वो यूनिवर्सिटी का पैटर्न होता है. अब इसको ही हम प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं आराम से. रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर यू हैव टू पैराफ्रेज मतलब अगर आपने ये चीजें यहाँ पे ये टेबल फॉर्म में लिख ली, हाँ, तो रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर में आपको बस वही लिखते जाना है. ऑथर का नाम चलो लिखो, टाइटल, वेरिएबल्स कौन से स्टडी हुए, वो वेरिएबल्स के रिलेशनशिप क्या फाइंड आउट किए. he took a structured questionnaire of sample size with 250 or 300 respondents. Which statistical tool he applied, वहां से मिलेगा. chi-square test was used and finally a relationship between the variables was found to be positive. Fantastic. आपने बता दिया कि पहले रिसर्च पेपर में ये दोनों वेरिएबल्स के रिलेशनशिप बता दिए कि ये पॉजिटिव है, मुझे वही टेस्ट करना है मेरे पेपर में। चलो आगे बढ़े, एक लाइव एग्जांपल ले। आर यू ऑल विथ मी? चेक चेक ऑडियंस।
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
यस।
Yes, madam.
चलिए, बहुत सारे खुल के रखे हैं। चलो, मैंने यही टॉपिक आपसे बोला था, इससे हम शुरू करते हैं। इज इट विजिबल? बस साइज इतना, font size?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So the topic is a study on job satisfaction and performance of management gurus of management colleges. ठीक है भाई, तो हमारा तो दो वेरिएबल्स मिल गए हैं, एक तो जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन है, दूसरा है परफॉर्मेंस। और अपना कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है, तो हमें मैनेजमेंट गुरुज और मैनेजमेंट कॉलेजेस, वो अपना कॉन्टेक्स्ट है विच इज कांस्टेंट। अब शुरू करना है मुझे अपना रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर। यूजुअली रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर हम लोग शुरू करते हैं फ्रॉम एब्स्ट्रैक्ट। We should read the abstract first, because the abstract will definitely talk 2 to 3 lines first about the industry. Then the abstract will also talk about what are the two variables. It will also talk about what is basically the tool used for their data analysis. ये पर्टिकुलर एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में अगर हम बोले कि हमारा ऑथर का नाम टेबल नंबर 1, ओके, कॉलम नंबर 1, ऑथर का नाम पूछा है, ये लिख लीजिए ऑथर का नाम। चलिए, दिस इज ऑथर्स नेम दैट यू आर गोइंग टू राइट डाउन। ओके, व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट कॉलम फ्रेंड्स? व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट कॉलम सेइंग? इट्स टॉकिंग अबाउट द टाइटल। Please keep telling me the next columns. Yeah, what is the title? So title is said here, a study on job satisfaction and performance of management gurus for management colleges. Okay, what is the area domain here? So you're definitely going to say it is an area of HR which is talking about job satisfaction and performance of employees or management. चलो, तो दो बात हो गई हमारी, तीसरा कॉलम भी हो गया। अब हम जाते हैं चौथे कॉलम पे। What's the next column saying? Result. In result, we are going to find out कि ये भाई साहब ने कौन से वेरिएबल्स यहाँ पे पढ़े हैं और वो वेरिएबल्स के रिलेशन क्या है। अब एक्सट्रैक्ट में तो ज्यादा बात नहीं की है, उन्होंने यही बताया है, इन दिस स्टडी वी हैव यूज्ड स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल एंड टेक्निक लाइक chi-square टेस्ट फॉर टेस्टिंग द एसोसिएशन एंड मल्टीपल रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस ऑफ टेस्टिंग ऑफ एनालिसिस। चलो, तो यहाँ पे एटलीस्ट स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल तो बता दिए हैं। तो हमारे कॉलम में स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल था, हाँ जी ये रहा, लिख लो यहाँ पे स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल, दे हैव सेड रिग्रेशन एंड दे हैव सेड chi-square, लिख लीजिए यहाँ पे स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल यूज्ड। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब तक यहाँ पे रिलेशनशिप के बारे में कुछ बताया नहीं है, ना यहाँ पे बताया है कि मेरे जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन मेजर कैसे होगा। और आगे थोड़ा तो पढ़ते हैं, थोड़ा और पढ़ते हैं और आगे पढ़ते हैं। चलिए, ये रहा जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन के बारे में कुछ तो बोला है। यहाँ बोला है जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन इज रिलेटेड टू डिफरेंट फैसेट्स ऑफ जॉब लाइक पे, वर्किंग आवर्स, प्रमोशन प्रोसेस, career development, pension agreements and numerous other aspects of job. चलो भाई, यहाँ कुछ तो बोला है। तो अब मुझे कोई पूछेगा कि तुम जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन मेजर कैसे करोगे, तो मैं अपने गाइड को बता सकती हूँ, सर जी जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन आई विल मेजर विद आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस लाइक आर यू हैप्पी विथ योर पे, आर यू हैप्पी विथ योर वर्किंग आवर्स, आर यू हैप्पी विथ योर प्रमोशन प्रोसेस। लिखत स्केल डालूंगी, हाउ फार यू आर हैप्पी, एक्सट्रीमली हैप्पी, समवॉट हैप्पी, नॉट एट ऑल हैप्पी। That's the Likert scale, 5.3 point scale, वो हम बाद में बताएंगे। But this is how I will measure job satisfaction. ये मुझे कहाँ से सब dimensions मिले? Through review of literature. आगे देखो और पेपर पढ़ती गई, जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन एंड परफॉर्मेंस। यहाँ पे ये बंदे ने बताया, इट इज ऑब्जर्व फ्रॉम रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर एंड रिपोर्ट स्टडी दैट job satisfaction and performance is correlated. Bingo. I got this punchline what I'm looking out for. जाइए वापस अपने रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर में, लाइए रिजल्ट, यहाँ पे लिखिए कि ये ऑथर ने अपने टाइटल में ये बता दिया है कि यहाँ पे कुछ कोरिलेशन है। और जब आप एनालिसिस पार्ट, इंटरप्रिटेशन पार्ट लिखोगे, अगर आपके भी वेरिएबल्स जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन और परफॉर्मेंस में रिलेशन बताया, ये बंदे का नाम लिखो कि आवर स्टडी इज इन पैरेलल विद दिस ऑथर, व्हाट ही इज सेइंग कि देयर इज अ रिलेशनशिप। सो राइट डाउन दिस हियर इन रिजल्ट कि दिस पेपर इज सेइंग दैट देयर इज अ रिलेशनशिप। ये रहा, देयर इज अ कोरिलेशन। चलो और आगे पढ़ते, और कुछ दिया है ये पेपर में। Friends, I had to devote my time to a little read this paper. Review of literature 2-2 मिनट का काम नहीं होता है, हर दिन में 2 से 3 पेपर ही पढ़ पाएंगे आप, not more. So when you're doing review of literature, you should keep a target. एक दिन में 3 से पेपर 4 अगर rigorous करना चाहते हो, then it depends how much speed you have of reading and identifying. चलो यहाँ पे objectives देखते हैं। अब मैं जब review of literature कर रही थी, यहाँ पे मुझे objectives क्या मिले? To study the association, ये लो भाई, यही तो बोल रही थी मैं कि objectives में always mention your variables and what you want to study with the variables. So I said I want to study the association between job satisfaction and performance. Association means क्या कुछ संबंध है, क्या कोई रिलेशन है? प्रीवियस रिसर्च ने तो बोला है कोरिलेशन है, मुझे फाइंड आउट करने मेरे पेपर में, मेरे ऑडियंस के साथ, मेरे सैंपल के साथ क्या रिलेशन एग्जिस्ट हो रहा है। नेक्स्ट, आई वांट टू स्टडी मेजर फैक्टर्स और डायमेंशंस ऑफ जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन। मेरे पेपर में देखो, ये प्रीवियस पेपर में तो पढ़ा है, ये हम ऊपर गए थे, दीज आर द डायमेंशंस। सो इक्वली इवन आई वांट टू स्टडी व्हाट आर द डायमेंशंस। बॉस, ये पढ़ते पढ़ते ही मॉडल बिल्डअप होता है। अब मॉडल कैसे बिल्डअप होगा वो बताती हूँ, पहले देख तो लेते कि रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर कैसे करते हैं। To determine the influence of job satisfaction, dimensions on job satisfaction, dimensions on job satisfaction. चलो ये तो बाद में satisfaction ही हमको determine करके देगा कि influence क्या level तक है, लेकिन हमने variables के साथ ही हमने play किया है that what I want to study. Let's go ahead. Hypothesis of the study. देखो ये बंदे ने hypothesis अपने दिमाग से नहीं लगाई, उसने भी previous study से ही लिया है। उन्होंने hypothesis यहाँ पे लगाई कि there is an association. ये कहाँ से उन्होंने लाया? तो मैंने ये रेड मार्क किया है ना, ये देखो, ये बता रहा है, इट इज ऑब्जर्व फ्रॉम लिटरेचर रिव्यू एंड रिपोर्ट दैट देयर इज अ कोरिलेशन। आगे का रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर में उनका कहीं में यहाँ पे सब जगह बताया कि देयर इज सम कोरिलेशन, देयर इज सम कोरिलेशन। ये रहा, जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन एंड परफॉर्मेंस आर हाईली रिलेटेड। देखो भाई, कि कहीं ना कहीं उन्होंने कहीं तो पढ़ा है, एंड दिस इज व्हाट इज नरेटिंग हियर। जो उन्होंने पढ़ा है वो यहाँ पे वो फाइंड आउट करना चाहते हैं, वो टेस्ट करना चाहते हैं। दिस इज हाउ यू डिराइव योर हाइपोथेसिस। चलो आगे पढ़ते हैं। ये आया उनका स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल, उन्होंने बता दिया था कौन सा काई स्क्वायर टेस्ट यूज कर रहे हैं, रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस। व्हेनेवर तुमको रिलेशनशिप फाइंड आउट करना है, कोरिलेशन फाइंड आउट करना है, तो रिग्रेशन तो बनता ही है, लगता ही है। ओके, और ऑब्जेक्टिव्स जब मैं बना रही हूँ तब आपको बताऊंगी कौन सा वर्ड ऑब्जेक्टिव में बता देता है, कौन सा टूल लग रहा है। आगे पहले तो यहाँ कॉन्सेंट्रेट कर लेते हैं। अब मेजर डायमेंशंस ऑफ जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन, अब डायमेंशन सब यहाँ पे बोले हैं। when you go down it is talking about all these dimensions. Welcome to model of the study. It is showing you salary dimension, ये मैंने नहीं बोला है, रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर से मिला। प्रमोशन एक डायमेंशन, जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन को मैं मेजर कैसे करूं, ये वेरिएबल को, ये जो है उसको डायमेंशंस बोलते हैं, उसको कंस्ट्रक्ट बोलते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं कि जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन मैं मेजर करूंगी बाय आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस, डू यू हैव वर्क प्रेशर, व्हाट अमाउंट ऑफ आर यू हैप्पी विथ योर सैलरी पैकेज। अगर हाँ बोला, वेरी मच, जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन इज हाई, एंड इफ जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन इज हाई, परफॉर्मेंस इज हाई. So you are seeing the model is built up based on review of literature only. अब ये और ये कैसे लिखना, I will welcome you to that paper. Come. So this is understood, friends. How are you going to write down each of your reviews? May we proceed? Yes, Anisha ma'am? Yes. Okay, thumbs up. Thank you. Chaliye, now one thing what I want to show you is हाँ जी, चलो ये वाला एक देख लेते हैं. सलीब ने और फेडरिक्सन ने 2013 में I was browsing through a paper which was saying role of brand on consumer involvement in Bangladesh. The purpose of the paper लिखा था मैंने क्या है, उनका रिस्पोंडेंट क्या था 200 पीपल ने, और उनके स्टडी में क्या एक्सट्रैक्ट किया. इट वाज फाउंड दैट देयर इज सिग्निफिकेंट कोरिलेशन बिटवीन ब्रांड्स एंड कंज्यूमर इन्वॉल्वमेंट इन फैशन क्लोथ्स एक्सिस्टिंग इन बांग्लादेश. हर रिव्यू से मुझे वेरिएबल्स का रिलेशनशिप फाइंड आउट करना है, विच इज हाइपोथेसिस फाइंड आउट करना है, जो मुझे ड्राफ्ट करने हैं, टेस्ट करने हैं अपने रिसर्च पेपर में. नाउ लेट मी शो यू वन थिंग. दीज आर काइंड ऑफ मॉडल्स. अब ये मॉडल्स बनते कैसे हैं, जरा इस पे नजर मारते हैं. वी ऑलरेडी गॉट द की कॉन्सेप्ट्स कि मॉडल्स बनते हैं वेरिएबल्स से. These variables are put into boxes. Which boxes? You are seeing all these boxes here. All this are boxes in which these variables are put. But what kind of variables should we put into boxes? So you should always know conceptual model is basically talking about relationship with their variables. Model wohi bolta hai. When we bring all the variables together showing their relationship, that is a model. That's a model of your study. Next time if anyone questions you what's your model of your study, you should be very clear कि तुमको कौन से variables पढ़ने हैं और वो variables के कौन से relationship test करने हैं. उस सब को साथ में लाके आपको मॉडल बन जाएगा भाई. तो मॉडल कब बनता है? मॉडल दो टाइम बन सकता है भाई. मॉडल एक बन सकता है रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर का खत्म होने के बाद. दूसरा मॉडल बन सकता है आपके स्टडी फाइंडिंग्स के बाद. कि पहला मॉडल ये बोल रहा था, मेरा फाइंडिंग्स के बाद मॉडल ये बोल रहा है क्योंकि मैंने दो और वेरिएबल वेंचर किए, दो और रिलेशनशिप निकाले. So there can be two models of your study, one which the review is saying, one which your new variables have brought out the relation with. So basically relations are causal relations shown with an arrow. अब देखते हैं इसको हम ड्रॉ कैसे करते हैं. ओके हाँ जी, कोई ये रीड कर ले. परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स डिपेंड्स अपॉन अटेंडेंस, स्टूडेंट टीचर रेशियो, स्टडी मटेरियल प्रोवाइडेड. आई रिपीट, द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स डिपेंड्स ऑन अटेंडेंस, ये कल ही मैंने करवाया था, स्टूडेंट टीचर रेशियो, स्टडी मटेरियल. ओके, जरा ये बताइए इसमें वेरिएबल क्या है, व्हाट विल कीप वेरिंग. ये सेंटेंस में वेरिएबल क्या है, what will okay
study material, attendance.
Very good, it is study material, it is attendance, it could be student teacher ratio because it will keep varying, and also performance of every student will keep varying. Yes, so this is what we found out, these are variables. Now what is dependent variable? Dependent performance will depend on what? So my performance become a dependent variable. It will depend on attendance. It will depend on study material provided. My performance will depend on student teacher ratio. These are known as attendance, student ratio, study material are known as independent variable. वो independent खड़ा रह सकता है, जो किसको influence कर सकता है. किसको influence करेगा? Performance को influence कर सकता है. So friends, when you are drawing up a model, whenever you are drawing up a model, all your independent variable will always come on the left hand side. All your independent variable will always come on the left hand side. All your dependent variable will always come on the right hand side. समझ में आ रहा है ना? I'm trying to put in my efforts. I hope the audience is able to connect to me. Because इतना जब सन्नाटा हो जाता है तब होता है क्या हुआ? Am I connected to the audience?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Kanchan ma'am. What about the rest? I hope the audience is not
Yes,
the audience is not compelled कि बैठना ही पड़ेगा. Okay. All right. Thank you, Anuja. Yes. So here you have all independent variables. Here you have dependent variables. जहां पे arrow mark point out हो रहा है, the end point, this is the end point, the dot point. The dot point जहां पे point हो रहा है, that becomes independent. जहां पे arrow point हो रहा है, that becomes your dependent. ये लीजिए, मैंने आपके लिए यहाँ पे mention भी कर दिया है. Now, this is how you'll be building up your models. Now you will be able to relate to this. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to show some relationship here. Relationship can be casual, which could be negative or positive. So job satisfaction so far describes my performance. When job satisfaction is high, performance is high. Positive sign, there is a positive relationship. अब यही relationship friends मैं आपको इधर बता रही हूँ जो ये मॉडल में बिल्डअप हुआ है. Now you will able to understand. These are all by independent factors, dimensions, determinants, which determines job satisfaction. So my job satisfaction depends on all these factors. इसको बोलते हैं independent variable, इसको बोलते हैं dependent variable. Job satisfaction further influences what? Performance. Performance depends on what? Job satisfaction. This becomes my independent factor. This becomes my dependent factor. अगर आप relationship भी बताना चाहो, यहाँ पे plus sign भी डाल सकते हो. अगर negative relationship है, तो negative sign डाल सकते हो. I hope you are understanding how to make the model. Very logical, friends. Very logical. शायद कोई किताब भी आपको ना बताए. But once you get into research, no, you jump into research and you keep doing research, फिर ये सब चीजें आने लगती है दिमाग में. फिर पता चलता है, फिर लॉजिक पता चलता है, अरे this is what the model is saying, this is how the model is made, this is how they're talking about relationship. अब पता चल रहा है कि क्या बोल रहे हैं. चलिए, तो ये मॉडल है और ये टेस्टिंग हो रहा है और ये हर टेस्ट में they are talking about hypothesis testing here. Null hypothesis is accepted. There is an association between job satisfaction and performance. ये लो भाई, ये पेपर भी वही बता रहा है कि there is an association. तो आप अपने पेपर में भी बोल सकते हो कि ये ऑथर ने बताया there is an association, and the same thing is found out in my paper also. So I am in parallel with the author's finding. तो आपका और कॉन्क्रीट हो जाएगा स्टडी. रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर के टाइम बोलने का. चलो, ये और नीचे में आई, और नीचे में मैंने फाइंड आउट किया डायमेंशंस क्या. देखो, आई एम फाइंडिंग माय वेरिएबल्स हियर. it is clear from the regression equation that all the variables are positive correlated. ये देखो रिलेशनशिप बता दिया मुझे. ये कौन से रिलेशनशिप बताई? जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन की रिलेशन. उसमें कौन से फैक्टर्स बताए? तो ये सब फैक्टर्स है ना ऊपर, ये फैक्टर्स उन्होंने डिराइव किए हैं बेटा. ये फैक्टर्स आए हैं ROL से. आगे आगे आप ऊपर पढ़ोगे तो ये सब फैक्टर्स मिले हैं उन्हें. दूसरे रिसर्च पेपर से भी फैक्टर्स मिले कि जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन पॉजिटिव रिलेशन है, कोवर्कर पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप है, परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल नेगेटिव रिलेशन है. देखो यहाँ पे बताया है. कहाँ गया नीचे? यहाँ पे बताया. Except for promotion policies and performance appraisal, they have negative relation. Why? Except for the variables. ये दोनों का नेगेटिव रिलेशन हो रहा है जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन के साथ. तो जब मैं ये बना रही हूँ ना मॉडल, ये मॉडल में मैं प्लस साइन प्लस साइन प्लस साइन, ये प्रमोशन पॉलिसी के साइन माइनस साइन डाल दूंगी, परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल के साथ माइनस साइन डाल दूंगी, बाकी सब में प्लस साइन बता सकती हूँ. आई एम बिल्डिंग अप अ सुपर मॉडल. I'm building up a super model. Based on this model, I will make my questionnaire. और क्वेश्चनर ऐसा बनाना है जाके मैं अपने स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल्स लाइक काई स्क्वायर और कोरिलेशन रिग्रेशन लगा सकूं। देखो फ्रेंड्स, क्वेश्चनर बनाने में तकलीफ क्या होती है, किस हिसाब से क्वेश्चन पूछूं मैं कि मेरा स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल लगे। The pattern in which you are asking the question determines which tool can be applied here. Really. अगर आपने क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया डू यू हैव जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन यस और नो, तो आपका सिर्फ परसेंटेज मेथड लिखेगा। Out of 200 respondents, 150 said yes, 50 said no. भाई हमें ये टूल थोड़ी लगाना है परसेंटेज मेथड, हमें तो लगाना है कोरिलेशन काई स्क्वायर टेस्ट। तो यही क्वेश्चन में कौन से रीत से पूछूं ताकि आई कैन अप्लाई डिफरेंट टूल्स। सो आई विल नॉट आस्क द क्वेश्चन आर यू हैविंग जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन, डाइकोटोनॉमस क्वेश्चन यस और नो। तो यहाँ पे मेरे स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल्स लगा के मेरा इंटरप्रिटेशन 10 पेज में खत्म हो जाएगा, वेर इन मैंने काउंट करके रखे हैं इट इज 90 पेजेस। What kind of questions should I ask there? State the level of agreement you have that gives you job satisfaction. I repeat, state the level of agreement that you have that gives you job satisfaction. Okay. Or state the level of importance you have. चलिए मैं आपको एक क्रैक करती हूँ. This is known as Likert scale. Likert scale में questions पूछिए. एक second, let me just find out. A lot of research methodology पे हमने Likert scale. चलिए. Friends, these are the treasure that I'm sharing with you all. Please preserve all this what I share. ये आसानी से नहीं मिलते, बहुत रिसर्च रिव्यू करने के बाद मिलते हैं। हमें मिला है हमारे गुरु से, जब उनको बहुत रिक्वेस्ट किया, he told me a book, read this book to get this idea. So I had to read the book. So I can use Likert scale here. Level of agreement, fantastic. 5-point scale. Show the level of agreement you have for various dimensions to give job satisfaction. First one, salary. तो ये बताएगा strongly agree, disagree, neither agree, disagree, agree, strongly agree. अगर बंदे ने बता दिया strongly agree, I will be able to then make various statistical tools based on Likert scale. मैंने dichotomous नहीं डाला है, Likert scale डाला है यहाँ पे, उस हिसाब से मेरे statistical tools apply हो सकते हैं. This is known as 5-point Likert scale. भाई यहाँ पे 7-point Likert scale भी होगा. ये रहा level of agreement, 7-point Likert scale. The more in depth you're asked to know about consistency of an individual, how far he agrees or disagrees, that makes your study more concrete. अब यहाँ पे आपने 7 point पूछा है, ज्यादा मत पूछो in depth में, because respondent confused हो जाएगा, क्या लिखूं, किधर टिक मार्क करूं अब. 3 point, 5 point, more than enough. उतना आप क्वेश्चन में पूछ सकते हो for the level of agreements as a Likert scale if you want to ask any questions. So whenever you're making your questionnaire, well, if you want to use Likert scale, then this is one material that I can share with you. Take a look later. ज़्यादा इस पे फोकस नहीं करते, टाइम कम है अभी अपने पास. तो क्या आपको पता चला अभी मॉडल बिल्डिंग कैसे हो रहा है? Anybody, any questions so far? Anybody, any questions? Nobody? Okay, one request. क्या चैट बॉक्स में कोई thumbs up कर सकता है if you all have understood? क्या चैट बॉक्स में कोई thumbs up कर सकते हो if you all have understood? Or at least write down a yes. Yes, Kanchan ma'am is there throughout. Thanks for being in the session. Yes, Prapti also is understanding. Good. I am happy that those who all are there personally, I'm sure you are benefiting something. शायद कोई किताबें इतनी डेप्थ पे ना बोले, लेकिन my experiences that I'm sharing with you all will give you some basic ideas over the same. Thanks, Varsha ma'am. Thank you. Okay, now for this academic writing, अब review of literature जो आप जिस pattern में लिखना है आपको, review of literature जिस pattern में लिखना है आपको, वो तो मैंने आपको बता दिया. It is in this pattern that you're going to write down the review of literature. But at times when we are doing review of literature, we may copy some sentences also. अब जब हम copy कर लेते हैं तो हमारा plagiarism में आ जाता है. So is there any tool which will help me to reduce the level of plagiarism? There are many tools available. Friends, अगर chance मिला तो कल के सेशन में हम शायद बता दे how to use these tools. 13 best academic tools I'm making you use. ये रिसर्च में 13 ऐसे टूल्स हैं जो हमें बहुत मदद करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर हम रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर, हमने मान लो 100 पेपर पढ़े, तो ये 100 पेपर से हमें करना था एक्सट्रैक्ट. व्हाट आई हैड टू एक्सट्रैक्ट बाय वेरिएबल्स. चलिए बता देते. और एक ये हमने किया था जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन का, ये वाला. चलो ये भी एक पेपर हमने पढ़ा था. और ये पेपर इट्स अगेन जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन and employee performance. I found out one more paper, and this paper was in International Journal of Advanced Research in Management and Social Science. 3 authors ये रहे मेरे. So आप review table में ये authors के नाम लिख सकते हो. अब जानना हमें है कि abstract मेरा क्या बोल रहा है. So basically I want to know what are job satisfaction and employee performance, a theoretical review and relationship between the two. Fantastic. This is what I wanted and I got by paper. Jump for joy. Okay. So I'm trying to find out, is there any relationship between them shown in the paper? And if yes, what is the relationship been shown? So पहले तो abstract पढ़ने के बाद कुछ मिला तो ठीक है, नहीं तो थोड़े और नीचे जा रहे हैं. तो हमने ये पेपर थोड़ा पढ़ाई किया. ये पढ़ाई करने के बाद मुझे बहुत सारे रिव्यूज मिले जो जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन के डायमेंशंस भी बता रहे हैं और जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन का रिलेशनशिप भी बता रहे हैं परफॉर्मेंस के साथ. यहाँ से मुझे कुछ रिलेशनशिप भी फाइंड आउट हो गई. मैंने सब येलो मार्क नहीं किया है. हाँ चलो यहाँ पे किया है. तो यहाँ पे मुझे हाइपोथेसिस मिल गए, टू ऑब्जेक्टिव मिल गए टू स्टडी द फैक्टर्स इन्फ्लुएंसिंग जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन. ये फैक्टर्स माने डायमेंशंस, ये डायमेंशंस माने कंस्ट्रक्ट, ये कंस्ट्रक्ट माने ये बोल रहे जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन को क्या डिफाइन करता है. तो ये रहे फ्रेंड्स, ये पढ़ने चाहते हैं. ये इसको बोलते हैं डायमेंशंस, इसको बोलते हैं कंस्ट्रक्ट. जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन के फैक्टर्स क्या इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं, इसको बोलते हैं फैक्टर्स, इसको बोलते हैं डिटर्मिनेंट्स. ये डिटर्मिनेंट्स मेरे दिमाग से नहीं आते, ये डिटर्मिनेंट्स मुझे मिलते हैं रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर से. हर एक रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर 4-5 डिटर्मिनेंट्स के साथ काम कर रहा है. हर पेपर में आपको ये डिटर्मिनेंट्स मिलते ही जाएंगे, मिलते ही जाएंगे, मिलते ही जाएंगे. यू हैव टू पुट अ स्टॉप. आई वांट टू स्टडी दिस डिटर्मिनेंट्स ओनली. तो ये पेपर में भी वही काम किया है. They want to identify the factors influencing job satisfaction. So they have studied few factors here to identify the determinants of employee performance. Finally, to review relationship between job satisfaction and performance of the employee. Exactly this is what I'm trying to study. तो आपके related जो topic होते हैं उसके review of literature तो बहुत मिलेंगे papers, बहुत मिलेंगे. वहीं से आपको एक एक्टर नहीं, 2 एक्टर नहीं, 3 एक्टर नहीं, आपको तो 100, 200, 300 एक्टर्स मिल जाएंगे. इतने डिटर्मिनेंट्स मिलेंगे, इतने वेरिएबल्स मिलेंगे, इतने डायमेंशंस मिलेंगे. यू हैव टू डिसाइड व्हिच डायमेंशन यू वांट टू स्टडी. तो हाइपोथेसिस भी इधर हो गया. जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन हैज सिग्निफिकेंट इन्फ्लुएंस ऑन एम्प्लॉय परफॉर्मेंस. देखो यहाँ पे बोला है कि यहाँ पे कुछ इन्फ्लुएंस है और यहाँ तो बोला है डायरेक्ट इन्फ्लुएंस है, मतलब पॉजिटिव रिलेशन है. तो ये आई एम नॉट राइटिंग दिस, आई फाउंड आउट फ्रॉम सम पेपर. ये पेपर कौन सा है, तो भाई ये पेपर में भी तो लिखा है पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप. कहीं तो भी हमने मार्क किया था इट इज सेइंग पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप, देयर इज एन एसोसिएशन. देखो तो यहाँ से हमने उठाया अपना हाइपोथेसिस और मैं अपने पेपर में वही हाइपोथेसिस डाला, उसको टेस्ट करने का है. दिस इज नॉट प्लेगरिज्म, this is testing the hypothesis which other researchers have said. So friends, this is how hypothetically you will be doing your review of literature. One demonstration completely given to you. Now you know what you have to read in the paper, how you have to make your conceptual model, how you have to select your dimensions. अब मुझे पूछेंगे जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन को तू मेजर कैसे करेगी पूनम, तो मैं मेजर करूंगी ये फैक्टर्स से. दिस डिस्क्राइब्स माय जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन. ये डिस्क्राइब करना मतलब मेजर करना. नाउ इफ एनीबॉडी इज आस्किंग यू दिस क्वेश्चन by your research guide, how will you measure job satisfaction? You can definitely answer to this. Understood? Okay. Now I'm going to show you. मान लो अगर कोई हमें बोल रहा है कि आपका प्लेगरिज्म बहुत है पेपर में, रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर में आपने बहुत कॉपी मारा है, हाउ कैन वी रिड्यूस दैट प्लेगरिज्म? Okay, so let's do something which is known as use one academic tool. That academic tool is called as that academic tool is known as Quillboard. That helps me to paraphrase. Paraphrase करना मतलब जो actual writing है उसका meaning ना बदलते हुए I am trying to write down the same thing. Let's use this particular academic tool. This tool helps me to enhance my language. This tool helps me to beautify the language. This tool helps me to reduce plagiarism. This tool is called as paraphrasing tool. Paraphrase karna matlab we are trying to copy some material but restructure it in a different words, but the meaning of the sentence will not change. So what I went to Google Google search engine. Google search engine में मैंने लिखा Quillbot. Quillbot is also used. It's an open source tool used in academic writing, maybe essay writing. आपको जो भी लिखना हो, research writing, you want to write down your notes, etc. anything. So this particular tool is very popular. Grammar check भी करता है. अगर इसमें आपने कुछ premium amount, मतलब if you get your membership here, log in and get your membership here, आप plagiarism check भी इससे कर सकते हो. A fantastic rated tool here. So I say allow. तो मैं अपना जो भी मटेरियल मैंने कॉपी किया था, और मैंने कहाँ से कॉपी किया ये, तो मैंने यहाँ से कॉपी किया, ये कुछ हमने कॉपी किया है. हाँ बस चलो इतना सारा आ गया था. हाँ चलो यहाँ तक आ गए. Control C. It has got some minimum words also that can be tested. Because I'm using the free version, I will not be able to enjoy all the features. See, it is saying get Premiere for unlimited words. So they cannot copy so many words right now because I'm using the free version. Okay, तो थोड़ा थोड़ा हम करते हैं. ठीक है, चलिए हम यहाँ से जाने देते हैं, आगे देखते हैं कैसे करते हैं. Oh, that's too much, हाँ definitely. फिर तो भाई साहब बोलेंगे ही, इतना सारा हम करके नहीं देंगे. चलो, so 125 words थोड़ा और निकाल लेते हैं. चलो मान लो 159 words. चलो 120 words. मान लो चलो हम इतना trying to paraphrase it. I say paraphrase. Paraphrase means give us a different outlook of this, which will not come under plagiarism. It has given me a different outlook. Let us see how. Superbly it has done. Now see, it is doing the paraphrase job. It's completely rephrased here. All what was written here. Job satisfaction is the extent of which one feels good about the job. इसको और ऊपर जाएंगे तो आपको बताएगा ये. All what is, see, it's a degree to which one enjoys one's work. It changed my language. Major constitutes of job satisfaction are good salary, देखो मेरा एक dimension निकला. Work environment, दूसरा dimension निकला. Job as per academic qualification, desired profession, job security, fringe benefit. These are the factors. These are the dimensions. These are independent factors which influence my job satisfaction. तो इधर ही लिखा उन लोग ने. Good salary, pleasant work environment, good a job that matches one's academic qualification, preferred career, job stability are all the important factors in job happiness. It changed the language of your paper. अब इसको अगर तुम plagiarism check करेगा, it will come less than 5%. लेकिन अगर यही आपने अपने पेपर में डाला होता, plagiarism would have come 100%. Isn't it a good tool? Isn't it a good tool? Absolute yes. Absolute. So before you go for plagiarism check, plagiarism, I'll show you one more. There is one more academic tool which is known as Trinka. अब वो Trinka कैसे use करते हैं वो भी बताऊंगी. बहुत amazing है. That also helps me to rephrase it. This is related to review of literature, इसलिए मैंने आपको ये tool एक बता दिया, जिसका नाम है Quillbot. So please everybody try this, Quillbot. Out of the 13 best academic tool, one tool that I made you learn right now, देखो Evernote, Focuswriter, Google Doc, सब मुझे बताने हैं, but I'll not get time. Grammarly, Google Scholar, that you all must be knowing. Mendeley, Zotero कल बताऊंगी पक्का Zotero. Quillbot, ये मैंने आपको एक बता दिया. What is this all about? One of the tools which helps me for paraphrasing, summarizing a lot of material that I want to. Millions of students, this is one of the fantastic tools. Millions of students and academicians write this for research report writing. So when you're doing your ROL, no friends, please ROL के time Quillbot use कीजिए. This will help you कि proof reading की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी आपको. इतनी अच्छी लैंग्वेज दे रहा है. अब मान लो आपने रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर 100 बताई है, 100 पेपर भी तो इंक्रीज करना है थीसिस के. You will not do at least 25 and say I got my constructs, I got my dimensions, I got my independent variables, इसलिए अभी मैं सिर्फ 25 कर रही हूँ. PhD है, डिग्री है, मिल रही है आपको. डिग्री will not be easily awarded. So you will have to show good chunk of review of literature that you have done. बताना पड़ेगा कुछ 80 to 100 review of literature you have done. अब जब 100 review of literature किया है, वो 100 के 100 bibliography में बताने पड़ेंगे आपको. Of course. So when you are doing your review of literature, parallelly, you can maintain your bibliography. How to do that, I will be showing you in tomorrow's lecture by helping you to work on Zotero. 6:30 abhi, I'm done. Critical review of research paper has been a book with the help of Quillbot too. It's a good one. Very good. I'm happy with you, ma'am. You've done that. It's a very good tool. Good. Chali, I think as for now, what I wanted to teach you, it is done. For tomorrow's session, we'll be learning all about some of these tools which are used for academic writing, and we'll be doing how to make the objectives and identify the research tool over it. That's all for today's lecture. Thanks, everyone. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Poonam ma'am. I don't know how to say thank you to you. Such an amazing lecture. Now I will, for the formal vote of thanks, really I'm very grateful to you that you have accepted our invitation. And the way you are teaching the basics of the research, I'm really amazed with that. Very good. All the best, madam. Now I request Ameya sir to propose formal vote of thanks for this session. Ameya sir.
Yes, madam. Good evening, all. Myself, Ameya Gadge. On behalf of Shailendra Degree College, I would like to thank our distinguished speaker, Dr. Poonam Kakkad Madam, for her excellent presentation on identifying variables and model building and making it very meaningful and interesting. I would even like to express my deep gratitude to our college principal, Dr. Swati Pitale Madam, for allowing us to have such a workshop. I would even extend my thanks to the workshop organizer and my guide, Dr. Kanchan Madam. And last but not the least, to all the participants for their active participation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, now I declare the session is over. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for the feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, dear.